They stood at the bottom of the cellar steps. The air was cooler down there. Still. Held. The door sat back on the far wall. It was older than everything around it. Worn wood, an uneven frame, and a handle that hadn't been used in years. The estate agent had said almost in passing, "Well, I don't believe anyone goes in there." A small shrug. "Well, I've no idea what's behind it." And that should have been enough. They opened it anyway. Up in Halifax, in a part of the town called Manor Heath, there are houses that were never built small. Stone-fronted, high ceilings, and rooms where the sound carries further than you expect. Some of them have now been divided, turned into flats, modern living in old proportions. And in one of those houses, there's a room below the house. And the unusual thing isn't that it's there, it's that no one seems to have gone into it for a very long time. The property itself was a ground floor, with wide windows and thick walls, a place that still held a quiet weight, even after the renovation. It's the sort of place that people describe as having character, without quite explaining what they mean. And it came with access to the cellar. During the viewing, the estate agent led the way down. Narrow steps, stone underfoot, cooler air as they descended. The cellar was what you'd expect. Storage and pipework, low light. It was nothing that would give you pause. Until they reached the far wall. There was a door, set slightly back, not part of the natural line of the room. It was older than everything around it. The agent slowed just slightly and said, "Well, I don't believe anyone goes in there." A small shrug. "No idea what's behind it." And then they moved on. Most people would have asked then, taken a look. But the house was right, the price was right, and the feeling of it settled. So the door was left. They moved in a few weeks later, and the house behaved as houses do. It settled around them. Morning light across the front room, and evenings that quietened naturally. The slow, ordinary process of getting used to a place. Until the cellar came up again. It was the man upstairs, just in passing. "Oh, you've got the room, haven't you?" There was a pause. "What room?" "The one below." Another pause. Just long enough to shift something. "I've heard about that," he said. "Certain?" Then after a moment, "I wouldn't go in there." After that, the door changed. Days passed, then weeks, and thought of it stayed, not constantly, but not ever fully gone. It surfaced in a few small moments while making tea, sitting in the front room, passing the cellar door without going down. Because now it wasn't just a door, it was a question that hadn't been answered. Eventually, they went down. The cellar felt the same. Still, unchanged. But the door, it held your attention differently now. Up close, it showed its age more clearly. Warm wood, an uneven frame, and a handle that had seen use, just not recently. They stood there a while before touching it. And then they opened it. The room beyond wasn't large. It was a lower ceiling with bare walls and no furniture. No clear purpose. Just space. But stepping inside had brought something with it. A shift. Felt rather than seen. And at first it was difficult to place. Then it began to gather. A sense of waiting. Drawn out. Worn thin. Then something else. Faint, but unmistakable. Children. No figures. No shapes. Just the impression of them. Of something being left behind in the air itself. And then another layer. An older presence. A body giving way slowly. Days measured in discomfort. And time stretching without relief. And beneath all of it, a weight. Something closer to being trapped inside a life that had narrowed too far. Desperation. They stepped back. The room stayed exactly as it was. Still and empty. Nothing that you could point to and say, there. But what had been there had made itself known. And that carried a feeling that didn't quite sit right. They left, quicker this time, back into the cellar, up the steps, and the door was closed firmly behind them. But whatever had been in there didn't stay. That night, the house felt different. Everything looked the same. Sound had carried as it had before. But something had shifted into the space. Not one room, not moving. It was just present. As though something that had been kept in place for a very long time had quietly found its way out. Word spread. Quietly, as it does in places like that. About the room below. About what was left. And about what might have been let out. No one goes in there now, and the door remains where it's always been. Closed. But no longer holding anything back. And in houses like that, in places like Halifax, people learn, sooner or later, that some doors are not there to be opened. Not because of what you might find, but because of what might follow you back. So if you find yourself standing at the bottom of some stone steps, facing a door that no one talks about, and something inside you says, leave it, you might want to listen. Because some things stay quiet only as long as you leave them alone. That's Giles, signing off.